The United States gives over $175 billion from Social Security each year to those on disability. And for certain types of people, that means only one thing: money up for grabs. You're about to meet some fraudsters looking for extra cash by milking the system, and the investigators out to stop them. Here's ABC's Neil Karlinski for our series, Nightline Investigates.
Hey.
You're watching Undercover Video, a sting by federal agents.
Can I do the breakfast burrito, or is it after 10 o'clock?
No.
Trying to recoup your money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From a couple who claimed to be so disabled they couldn't work, or in many cases, even stand up very long.
Just call me Bonnie and Corey Fly, we're fine.
As if daring someone to come and get them, the Target's owners Ramona Hayes and Corey Eglash virtually put a sign on themselves, opening a coffee shop called Criminal Coffee, complete with the slogan, "The place to come when you're on the run." The location, one of the most out-of-the-way corners of the United States, the gorgeous San Juan Islands along the Canadian border, deep in the Pacific Northwest.
What were these two like?
He was crooked as a dog's back leg. Neither one of them could tell you the truth if their life depended on it, but other than that.
The property manager had his own suspicions, but even he didn't know that the feds were investigating the two for a disability scam, and that new customer, Joe Rogers, was actually part of an undercover team of agents with a hidden camera.
Okay, here's the turkey. Roast beef's coming up. Okay, great, thank you. Help yourself.
You almost seem like buddies. Do you ever feel bad about that?
Not really.
Not so much.
No, it's our job.
Investigators say Ramona and Corey are a perfect example of what they face every day. People trying to bilk Social Security out of tens of thousands of dollars, claiming to be disabled and eligible for benefits set aside for those truly in need.
People are brazen. There's an element that's going to be looking for any way to defraud the government, and they'll do it.
Just look at some of the claims they've checked up on. This man driving off on his motorcycle, investigators tell us he claimed he couldn't drive or even go out alone. And the guy tossing the football, he said he had shoulder problems and needed an electric cart to run errands. This woman lifting the motorized wheelchair claimed she had difficulty with lifting, squatting, and bending. All three had their claims denied. Every year, Social Security pays out more than $175 billion to people on disability. But in the last year alone, nearly 72,000 allegations of fraud were reported to Social Security's Office of the Inspector General.
When people that don't need it are abusing it, I think everybody becomes outraged.
A big bust of some police and firefighters accused of massive fraud.
The most egregious case in the last year allegedly happened in New York, when more than 130 people, many of them police officers and firemen who worked on 9/11, were indicted for allegedly conspiring to defraud the government out of $29.9 million.
375.
And these numbers don't even include other types of disability fraud, like workman's comp. This woman, Kathy Cashwell, was raking in $3 grand a month, claiming a shoulder injury left her unable to stand, run, reach, or grasp. But that didn't slow her down on the Price is Right of all places. Look at her spin that wheel. Last year, she pleaded guilty to fraud. But agents say most cases are like Criminal Coffee, which is why we joined Joe Rogers on a float plane up to the San Juan Islands. He leads the Cooperative Disability Investigations Unit in Washington State, sort of a CSI unit for sniffing out disability fraud.
Do you have a table? Your favorite spot?
Over there.
Rogers and his fellow investigators posed as cellular phone company workers.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Stopping in during the course of their workday.
The bail money jar was over here, right?
It was right up here. Yes, right there.
We just recently bought a house, and it's pretty close. It's right up on the corner.
This is his normal behavior. He's a very friendly, personable guy. Tell you his life story in a minute, and he did several times.
Where you guys are at from originally?
Both were incredibly chatty and seemingly perfectly able-bodied, a far cry from their applications for disability payments.
She's written here, I cannot work due to anxiety, severe depression, PTSD. There are days when I cannot leave my home.
I will buy some donuts from time to time.
Corey is on record in her application to support her claim.
I doubt that today she could work in a retail store on a part-time basis or actually put gas in a car.
I mean, that's pretty extreme. He says she can't even put gas in a car.
That's pretty extreme.
This huge eagle swooped down in front of us in the car.
She received just over $42,000 in Social Security and another $15,000 from the state of Washington. So it was about $58,000 total.
Corey wasn't receiving disability yet. His application is what helped set off the red flag that brought agents to their door.
He has difficulty lifting, squatting, bending, standing, reaching, sitting, kneeling, stair climbing, seeing, memory, completing tasks, concentration, understanding, using hands, getting along with others.
Pretty inclusive.
Even more than moving around, the tapes reveal a pair who couldn't stop talking about themselves.
I'm grabbing a roller. I didn't say 2 words to me. I grabbed the plastic, I grabbed the roller, I grabbed the paint. I didn't even know who I was dealing with.
Then we were out at Jackson's Beach one day, and Corey's like, look at that big thing up on the tower. Nice to meet
Are
you
you driving or are you talking?
I'm driving.
Oh, what a stupid question.
Princesses do not walk.
Remember, Ramona supposedly can't even put gas in a car, let alone drive.
As if the coffee shop wasn't enough, investigators say Corey walked a full mile to this little building at the end of the pier where he worked his second job at the aquarium.
They found records that he volunteered at a local senior center and played basketball with the local rec league, too.
Do you play any of those? Or? No? Yeah.
He played basketball 4 days the same month he applied for disability.
Did you ever notice that either one of them had, pains or a hard time getting around? No.
No. The only pain was, they gave me a pain, but I won't tell you where.
When Joe the customer finally showed his badge and the charges were filed, Ramona pleaded guilty to mail fraud. She's serving 12 months in federal prison.
Most everything we bake, right, is gluten-free.
Corey went to trial where the jury quickly found him guilty of conspiracy to defraud the United States and mail fraud. We tried to talk to him while he's awaiting sentencing and filing for an appeal. Hello? But he was nowhere to be found, and his lawyer, along with Ramona's, declined to be interviewed.
When it all finally came out, what'd you make of that?
That's about the funniest thing I'd heard in a while.
These small cases add up, totaling $340 million in savings just last year. As for the con artists who might think no one is watching...
You have agents out spying on people right now?
They should be.
They should be.
Well, hey, thanks, Bazaar. It's good coffee.
I'm Neil Karlinski for Nightline in Friday Harbor, Washington.